Alright guys, so we are back for another damage testing for some of the SSRs that we are looking at. So I heard you guys feedback. I understand that the way I was doing the testing wasn't really like a true testing for you guys' eyes, but the problem is with the palette. The sad thing about this game, you cannot sortie without a palette, and the fact that there is no way to get duplicate palettes. Well, I can't really like use a palette one for one. The only way that I can, probably cheese it out is like, oh, I do a testing like 1 unit per time using the same palettes or something like that. But the other thing to consider about some units, like their overall weapon, some have higher damage like ratio from a range versus a melee. So I can't technically use the same palette for everybody because that's really not going to dictate how strong they would be in like quote unquote their best situations. So unless I don't know, you guys can definitely give me like a better idea on how I should do it. But second attempt, I'm going with these palette that we have right here. So Gundam F90 came with a palette, so I'm using his own designated palette, so I'm not using anybody else besides his own designated palette. Same thing for Gundam F90 as well. It came with a designated palette, so we're using the designated palette as well. So we have that. The only exception is like Alex Gundam, G-Self, and Blue Destiny Unit 1, is it right? Or let me see. Yeah, Blue Destiny Unit 1 exam does not. So these three don't have a pilot, and I'm trying. I'm trying to pair that with like the best corresponding pilot, like the word tags and matches. Like I think Cole Oragi for Alex is actually a pretty fitting choice because it has pretty much all the ability. And Alex Gundam, the strongest attack is a ranged weapon, so I think it's actually not that bad. It also gets into the affinity tag, the Earth Federation. So I'm like, all right, I think we're kind of set. Same thing for G-Self. I mean, the pilot that I gave is like probably the closest that I can give. It has own damage increase, range. The only thing we're not getting, because the pilot that we are using is from turn A, G-Self is from G and Recon. So there's that. All right. Lastly, we do have a Blue Destiny Unit 1, and I think Shiko is the best pairing because for Shiko, it does melee, and Exam is a unit that geared towards melee. So, I mean, this fits, and it also fits into the Federation as well. So, y'all gotta cut me some slacks. I'm definitely open to you guys' like suggestion and whatnot, but here we go. So this is the first batch we're using, and still using the UC series battleship, so everyone is getting the extra 14% stat. But other than that, I mean, let's get tested. So I didn't intentionally pick this team. I was just looking at my SSR roster. I was trying to see, alright, which unit do I already have it at 3-star max out and whatnot. And of the bunch, what I saw as a reoccurring theme, if I were to pick UC team per se, is a lot of these like OG looking, kind of like your vanilla basic unit, because these are like kind of like the starting out unit. I mean, they're not like your double zeta, they're not like your unicorn, they're like kind of like the older generation type unit. So I guess we kind of start from there and kind of move our way up to some of the other fancier looking unit. But these are like the classics one, right? Traditional color, traditional like styling. So I was like, it was just kind of funny that I want to batch together this specific theme, five for this unit. So we have that. I put Barbados in here was just kind of a testing because I was trying to see if I don't have any pilot, will any of the units show up, and it didn't. So that's why we had to go out of our way and do this, essentially. But with that being said, I am still going to be activating whatever abilities that can be applicable. I think all of them does have something to a certain degrees that will kind of modify its overall damage. And again, you cannot sortie without pilot. So even if I'm using pilot, a certain pilot for certain units, and there are certain abilities I can activate, I'm doing that because we are trying to see peak power, what they can do and whatnot. So you guys may think that is kind of like of a disadvantage to a unit over another, but I don't really think so because that's just how it is, right? Because every one of them is at least having something. So no one is getting any special treatment in any way or form. But I'll start off with Alex Gundam. So we do have MP. So this is where Ko actually is like the better of the bunch because no one in this team in our first attack will have an extra 30% stat. So Alex Gundam is gonna be hitting relatively hard if you have to ask me. The range on this one is actually just terrible. A lot of these units that we're looking at has some of the worst range possible. Okay, we are gonna be hitting depending on which one we're looking at. Dawn will be hitting for 106, while a Goof is gonna be a 102. So I will be hitting the further one just so we can. It's not bad damage actually, like 102 for a lot, like for a unit that's not even SP or anything, and no modules. I didn't put any module on anybody, so if anyone is wondering, it's not bad damage. I'll definitely take that. So F90 is a unit that specializes in range again. So the melee, I didn't even bother upgrading any of the other one that does not give me any favorable tags or favorable stats. So just to save on some resources. But I mean, hey, at least the range is a bit better. Famous last word is not any better. It's still a 3 range, is it? Yeah, like why are all these units, like why are all the range bad? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So these are units that I won't really be recommending because of how terrible they are. And this one you get stronger the lower your HP is. So 79 versus still 79. So I'll take you out just so we don't have to deal with it. That's alright. On paper it's gonna hit for that much. Yeah, because you're not blocking it will be a 79. So stop. It's actually bad. That's crazy. We have a 30, like roughly about 30k drop off in damage. Whew, that's ridiculous, man. And you are his own pairing pilot, so it makes no sense. I mean, granted, if we do have it at max MP, we could be clocking out at 100k as well. So I'm not gonna doubt that possibility. Let's check out the other one as well. Oh yeah, and the fact that, you know, you have this while everybody else has at least the attack burst, so it does make a difference. Oh snap, what the heck? Whoo, holy. And we're not even at max MP. The exam attack is crazy, but the funny thing about, I would say, Blue Destiny Unit 1 is the terrain is pretty horrendous. So trying to take a look at this in space or atmospheric, whatever, you're not gonna get any bonus. So you can't even, you can sortie, but you're not gonna like it. But yeah, this is crazy. 128. But given the fact that this is a melee centric, it doesn't really favor a lot of situation where having a range attack outside of the attacking vicinity of the unit is kind of where you want. Yeah, it's only good on paper, I feel like. Any other situation, I feel like it's not going to be like anything you want to kind of use. I always feel like if we have max MP, I'm looking at 140. The possibility of hitting 140 is actually kind of there. Believe it or not, I think so. Actually, yeah. Definitely do believe that. My gosh, 128? That's some bangers number right there. Alright, let's check out Fixies. Let's see what we're looking at. Oh, there you go. So this one again is the Aurora attack. Yeah, so this one is a stronger attack. And okay, I was gonna say, am I looking at something wrong? So this one is actually a melee again. So we do have 2 that are melee now. So we're looking at a 92 or 91 versus a, yeah, roughly about the same, so it don't really matter. So 90k, okay, alright. And this one, keep that in mind, there's no MP. Versus Alex. I think Alex by far is the weakest one of the bunch then. Yeah, Alex is definitely the weaker one. So you guys gonna know which one not to upgrade then. Alex is definitely the one you don't want to. Let's check out G-Self. Same thing, around that much. So the further we are, the better we get. So we can range from a 86 all the way up to a 91. So that's not bad. And keep in mind, we don't really have like a corresponding pilot by any measure. So I mean, given its performance, I mean, is kind of as expected in a way. Alright. Yeah, pretty vanilla animation, not too much to talk about. So I would definitely say so far, this guy, oh sorry, so it wasn't Alex that was weak. It was F90 that was the weakest one. So Alex with Cole Aragi definitely win by a long shot. Pretty good damage overall. Blue Destiny one, I mean, given the situation, it sucks, but the damage is pretty amazing. But me personally, I wouldn't upgrade it given kind of like its circumstances. I just can't really make use of it, but at least you guys kind of know like a ballpark of like, oh, how high of a damage overall I can get. Pixie and G-Self, they are around the same ballpark, around 90k. So the weakest one of the batch is actually at 90. So there you guys go. But other than that, that is going to be pretty much it for us, and I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.